The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
This is Africa Diaspora Connect.
Join us as we take the journey from the motherland to America.
We share our experiences and learn from them.
Here is our host, Kibathi Gaturu.
Hey, we're back, live again. Welcome to Studio 21, the home of the Africa Diaspora Connect. I'm that guy, I'm your host, Kibathi Gaturu. So, as I always say, every episode is all about a journey. It's all about a journey. This one will have a bit of a be familiar from a perspective whereby we have covered something similar to this a few weeks ago when we did a session on autism. This one is going to take us on another journey that I think needs to be really brought to light. And it's something that actually I've come to understand is pretty prevalent. That I honestly, once again, we're learning. And that's why what we're doing with our channel at ADC is bringing a lot of this stuff that, with all due respect, is being discussed but not being brought to the forefront. So I'm going to start with an overview of a little bit of my little research that I try to do every so often in my preparation. Let's talk about this word disease, all right? It invokes images of, invading bacteria or a cancerous tumor. In other words, something foreign that can be eliminated with the right treatment. But what happens when the root cause of an illness is the body itself? That's the problem researchers face when studying autoimmune conditions like what we're going to discuss today, lupus. So my understanding about lupus is it's a result of an overactive immune system that cannot differentiate between foreign cells and those belonging to the patient. So this resulting in systemic inflammation in and outside of the body. I can't even fathom that, but we'll get to the bottom of that. So approximately 5 million people around the world suffer from lupus. And 16,000 new cases are reported each year, according to the Lupus Foundation of America. The disease primarily affects women of childbearing age, and symptoms can range from mild to life-threatening. It's not very common, but it's not terribly uncommon either. Africans, Asians, and Native Americans statistically have a higher instance of developing the condition than Caucasians. Most people who experience lupus are women, with up to 90% of sufferers being female. It generally occurs in younger women, I understand, between the ages of 14 and 45. So, I have with me here an angel, someone who's been through this valley of just this ailment. She will walk us through her journey, the affliction, the causation, and everything that has affected her personally. And I want to commend her once again. And folks, ADC family, getting anyone to come out and just talk about stuff is my biggest challenge. And so when I come across Anne Lilian, Wageshi, former resident of the New England Patriots, I hope she's not a Cowboy fan because now she lives in Dallas, Texas, but it's all good. I'll forgive her if she's she's a Cowboy fan, but she'll tell us. Just you opening up and being able to just talk about it. And I'll give props to Mr. Nixon Moirori Nixrick for making this connects. Nix, more power to you, my brother. Thank you for giving us this audience and giving us this amazing guest. Wageshi, welcome to Africa Diaspora Connect. We appreciate you. We value you. and we want to hear about your journey. So I'll start off. I think on my last show, I tried to ask a single dad to give me an overview. And he shot me down and told me, I can't give you an overview of something that has traversed all these years. In your words, tell us your journey. Tell us your journey to where you are now. I won't say overview, but I keep saying overview. But tell us your journey to where you are now. Welcome to ADC, Anne Lilian Wagashi. Welcome.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. I see you know a lot about lupus.
I really don't. I just read. I just go on the internet.
But what you said was very actual and to the point. Mm-hmm. So I was when I was in Boston, I did not have lupus. I did not even really imagine I could ever have lupus. That's a couple of years ago. It's been a while since I lived in Massachusetts, and I still support the Patriots.
All right, there we go. Big up.
Yeah. So, but when I moved to Indiana, 2013, I used to I was just, I'll tell you, I was very active at that point, and eating organic, eating well, very healthy, not overindulging in anything crazy. And one day I went to work and fell.
You fell.
Just like that. I started having chest pain, called my doctor, but I had been working out the previous day. I used to do something called CrossFit. Crazy, but I did it.
I'm a trainer. I'm actually a trainer, but that's in my next life. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. Just don't mind me. Okay.
I used to do CrossFit, and I was thinking it's because I was doing so much. I thought I pulled a muscle, and that is why I was having chest pain.
Understood.
So I worked through the day just having the chest pain. At one point, I called my doctor. I said, I'm having chest pains. I don't know, and she told me, go to the hospital, just get checked out, because chest pain is not something I can diagnose over the phone, or I can try to treat over the phone. But I was like, no, it's probably where I worked out. It's going to be okay. So later during that day, I was called. I used to do wounds. I was a wound nurse at that time. So I was called to a room to fix something. And once I got to the room, the maintenance guy was there with me, and I started getting short of breath. And he went to the nursing station and got me a rolling chair so that I can sit on it. So he rolled me with that chair to the nursing station. So there I sat there for a couple of minutes, and then I walked back to my office, went through the stairs. And the moment I got to my office, I knew I was in trouble. So I called my coworkers that we shared an office with. They were not there. They were out for a smoke break or whatever. So then I called the scheduler. I did not even think, coming to think of it now that I talk about it, I did not even think about calling 911 for myself, because I could not have imagined that it was a life and death matter at that time. I just thought, I'm having this chest pain, I need somebody here. Then after I called that guy, his name was Bobby, he did not answer. So what I did was crawl to my office door.
Like you crawled on all fours?
Yes, because now I could not, I'm like in and out of conscious. I'm just telling myself, breathe.
Who's there with you? Are you just by yourself?
Nobody, because I called everybody that I could think of and nobody answered. So I held on my phone and I just said, because now I'm in and out, I'm just thinking, just breathe. Just breathe. You have to breathe. You have to breathe. So I kept on just doing slow breaths, so that I can be able to keep up. I crawled to the entrance of my office door and laid there and just kept on telling myself, just breathe. The reason I thought about doing that was so that if somebody is passing by the door, they can see me and they can call for help. So Bobby came to my office because I had called him. I think he was busy or whatever was going on. He came by my office and that is where he found me on the floor. So he called for help and they called the ambulance, and that is how I went to the hospital. So I was told that I was not in a very good shape. I met the paramedics that took me to the hospital, and they were shocked because I went back to work a month later, and they did ask me, you're that girl, right? I said, yeah.
What do
which
you mean? What
girl?
do you mean by that girl? What do you mean?
Yeah, so I asked which girl. They said, you made it. I said, yeah, I made it. I did not even know. He's like, yeah, you are in, all you kept on talking about was your 9-year-old daughter. That time Ashley was in Africa. She was not even here in the country. So I was all alone. So I'm now in the hospital. The first day, they thought I had a massive heart attack. So they did everything. My blood pressure dropped. It was like I was hanging by a thread. If I did not make it to the hospital at that time, I would not have probably made it, but I did make it. So we are here. The second day, they did not know what was going on. So they called an endocrinologist to come and see whether it's something to do with the hormones or whatever was going on. The third day, they still could not figure out what was going on. The fourth day, they called a rheumatologist, that is a specialist for autoimmune disorders. And that is the day I was told I could. They never said I have lupus. They said I could have lupus. So he started his own testing. And fair enough, he came and told me, Anne, you have lupus. Never in a million years had I thought that that was the beginning of my life. I thought other times I was living, but that was the day that I started living. Because this is a new life. Imagine I was not taking anything, no medication, nothing whatsoever.
And then one day you just collapsed. And you had no symptoms prior. One day you collapsed.
Just swelling, like very vague. Like every time I'll tell my doctor about the vague.
Oh, because
like
you had some vague symptoms. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like they will tell you, no, it's just the flu. Or I'll go to the hospital. I remember I went to St. Vincent's in Indianapolis. And what happens is at a younger age, they think that you're actually pain medication seeking. So if you go complain everywhere,
okay.
like they think that you're just over-exaggerating the pain. So they tell you, they just write for you a few pain medications and they say, those will help you for right now. And they send you on your way. But they don't, because the symptoms are so vague.
Understood.
Lupus is one of the diseases that is mostly misdiagnosed.
Why is that?
Because it's very vague. The symptoms are very vague. Like if I I was having headaches, I was having nausea, loss of hair,
Mm-hmm.
my hair would break,
mm-hmm.
stomach pains, the swelling, joint pain. That's it. And it repeats itself.
So those are the symptoms: joint pain, your hair loss.
Joint pain, hair loss.
What else? You said short of breath?
The fingers will turn blue. And when I was doing CrossFit, now that time the joints will feel some type of weird. I was thinking that I'm misusing the joints.
I'm not in medical field. So when your fingers turn blue, is it lack of oxygen? What is that? What's a sign of what?
It's lack of oxygen.
Okay.
But this is like the cold. It's like when you have a bad, like when you get a frostbite and your fingers will turn.
You're numb.
Because there's no.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that is how they turn. That is called Raynaud's. And I did not even know the name of that until I was diagnosed with it. Because it was I would just tell the doctor I had very bad frostbite. And they will look and, they will say, okay. So they never put the symptoms together. To be able to diagnose. But I did not suffer too long because within a year, I had got a diagnosis. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. There are other people that have stayed for even 4 years, 7 years, or they started when they were children and they get a diagnosis as adults. So I'm among the lucky people that got a diagnosis, but it was like a blessing in disguise. I had to go to the hospital to get that diagnosis because they had tried to look for.
So from a layman's perspective, when you say getting a diagnosis, is basically they have found out what the problem is. Is that what you mean by that?
Yes.
Is that what you mean by getting a diagnosis?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Wow, don't call me sir. Don't call me such and such. Anyhow. So this was how many years ago?
That was 2013.
This is 2013. This is 7 years ago.
Yes.
So now you're telling me you had a near-death experience. That's what it sounded like when they asked you, "Is this you?" Is that what you're saying? Is that what you meant?
Not once, not twice, but yes.
You've had a few near-death experiences?
Yes.
So, all right. How does you how do you how are you able to reconfigure yourself and come back to life, to what we mere mortals call life, after having gone through what you're saying? And you're saying in a very nonchalant way. It's like going to grab an ice cream bar or something of that nature. And I guess you have to go through it. But how do you go through what you're saying and be able to compose yourself like you are, or what I perceive to be composure from my layman perspective?
So I had to learn within the years to love the new self, to love me the way it is. There has been a lot of changes, like a lot of medications, a lot of body changes. I don't look like I do CrossFit anymore. I have gained weight because the medication we take a lot of I take a lot of steroids. They make you gain weight. So I have learned to learn the new person I'm becoming. So there was that period of anger, and there was that period of lack of self-esteem. There was that period that I could have done anything to go back to my old self. But 28, I never even told a lot of people, I would not even have come here 2013 or 2015 and have an interview with you, because I felt like that was my personal bubble. That was what I'm going through. I did not want to take it. I thought that was very intimate to me.
Absolutely.
To share it with the world.
Absolutely.
2018, I get sick, get septic, go to the hospital with a bowel obstruction. Actually, not a real obstruction. I get what they call pseudo bowel obstructions. And I go to the hospital, and I knew I was in danger too. They admit me, and I asked myself, if I died today, what would people say I died from? And I looked, because like people were calling me and texting me, I hear you in the hospital, what is going on? I hear you're in the hospital, because they don't know that I have this chronic illness.
Let me interject, because when we first started talking a few weeks ago, there's a lot of theories about lupus.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, actually, I read what you sent me, and I'm like, people think that way? I mean, like, what? Like, people think you're bewitched? People,
Yes.
just go ahead. Let's talk about that. The notions that people have when they don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah. So what happens is, like, just with that notion, when I was at the hospital, I was in the hospital, I was like in pain, and I knew that if, like when you're faced with a near-death experience again and again, you ask yourself some questions. And I asked myself, if I passed today, if I died today, what would people think that killed me? Would it be AIDS, HIV, with a stigma? Would it be I tried to commit suicide? Would it be, I was bewitched? What would it be? And I was like, I gotta talk about it. And as I started talking about it, then I realized the stigma that comes with autoimmune diseases. Because I have seen people on, I have a support group, and mostly people in my country, Kenya, they go all in on people with conditions that they don't understand. And they will say, I know some people who have been told they have been bewitched, they need to go make it straight with their family members, to be prayed for, they don't have faith enough, that is why they're not being cured or whatever. There's a lot of stigma circling diseases that people do not understand, because they don't understand how you're acting okay. Like on Sunday, I was in the hospital, was I not? I was in the hospital on Sunday.
You mentioned that to me. You mentioned you were going, yeah,
Yeah, I went to the hospital because I had a fever of 101.6.
Oh, wait, no, you mentioned something. You had a procedure. Sorry, you mentioned something different. You had a something different. Sorry, I thought it was something.
So I went to the hospital on Sunday, but I look okay on Monday at work. I'm not okay, but I look okay. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So people do not understand how I could be looking okay and I'm saying I'm not okay.
Mm.
You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
It's not it is not a disabled. You're not disabled because people cannot see it physically. But if I had pain written all over me, somebody might feel sorry for me or say, now I get it, but I don't have pain written all over me. So nobody can understand the journey that we are going through. So they try to fill those spaces, those mapengos, with whatever they feel.
Yeah.
The stigma that they feel that feels that.
So the stigma element, that's what really prompted you to be like, you know what, I'm going to talk about this, because you want to educate.
Yes.
You want to educate and really talk about it and forget about this, people to really understand that, this is what I am going through. That's really what prompted you to stand up and do what you're doing. And I commend you for that 100%, because I'll tell you this, you look perfectly fine from a layman, seriously, you do, we can't tell, we can't tell. Only what you're going through. Now, does your body over time find a way to fight this thing? Does your body over time just have a repellent to?
It surprises me every day. Like yesterday, I could not even lift my hands up to put my hair in a ponytail, so I just left it and went to work. Sometimes I have to take a bath in the morning in Epsom salt so that I can get my muscles moving, so that I can be able to go to work. So whatever takes an ordinary person, like the way you're saying, I'm late, I gotta get up, chap, go to work. I cannot do that. Whatever takes you 15 minutes to do will probably take me at least 45 to an hour to do. Just because I'm really slow. Like, it's not that I'm slow, but because my body. Now, this is the problem. With lupus, you have an opportunity, or you have a chance of overlapping with other autoimmune diseases. So for me, when I was diagnosed with lupus in 2013, what happened?
That's your daughter. No, I saw a picture of your daughter, I think.
When I was diagnosed with lupus 2013, then I was also diagnosed with another one called scleroderma in 2015. Scleroderma is actually the one that beats my behind so much because it just came with vengeance. So once you have one autoimmune disease, you have a very high chance of getting multiple autoimmune diseases because your body does not know which or how your autoimmune is working.
One of my close friends has Lou Gehrig's, that's another one. Actually, I spoke about him the last time. I kind of it's so foreign to us, but it's so close. It's so close, and it's happening right in our backyards. It's happening to us.
Yes.
So one of the questions that I always ask is, I was reading my stuff and everything else. Now, is this something you can inherit? Is this something in your DNA?
No. Actually, no. In my family, I am dealing with 4 autoimmune diseases. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. In my family, from my great grandmom, nobody I have seen. Now that I have researched autoimmune diseases this much, I don't know anyone in my family that has had it or that has it. My great-grandmom died at 102 years old. I do not know anybody in my family. So I cannot say it is inherited.
It's not genetic. Okay.
It's not genetic.
Okay.
They say they don't know what causes it. Something changes in your immune system that triggers.
And there's still no cure, but you can live a prolonged life. It will be challenging, but has no cure. This is my understanding.
You can live. I'm starting to even ask myself that because I have I'm losing lupus warriors right, left, and corner. But you can manage it, but it's tough because when your body starts attacking its own organs, what do? So if your body starts attacking your kidneys, they fail. Unless you get a donor, those kidneys are not working, or unless you do dialysis. How long are you going to do dialysis for?
Okay.
So if your body starts attacking your lungs like it has done to me, what do? it forms scar tissue that cannot be removed. And unless you get a transplant, what else do you do? The lungs fail.
Oh.
It's your body attacking itself. The body attacks the blood, so you start clotting. You have a clotting disorder. What do? You take medication for it, but you don't know when that clot is going to form and cause a stroke, because I have seen lupus warriors and survivors and fighters that have lived through strokes, multiple strokes, and they're relearning to walk, they're relearning to eat, they're relearning to talk at a very young age. Wow. So you cannot it's why we say, I don't know.
so what do you do from a support group perspective? I think you kind of touched on that. Do you have a support group? What's going on? How do you keep so vigilant? How what do you have?
I met with Nixon. Let me brag about Nixon. I met with Nixon in the streets of Facebook.
Uh-huh.
I used to do a lot of Facebook live videos.
Uh-huh.
Just telling people on my journey, just telling people how I'm doing, just talking and encouraging people. And people would reach out to me about my sister, my niece, my brother, my cousin. Mm-hmm. And then, so I put those people, mostly from Kenya, in a group, in a WhatsApp group. Mm-hmm. And we talk about it. We talk about our struggles. But then I saw the need. People are passing, like we are losing warriors too much. So we tried to talk and see what is going on, because we have to be, okay, if the mortality rate is high, you have to seek, why are we losing all these people? So most people don't see the doctors. So I talked to Nixon. I used to talk to Nixon, just, he tells me, if you need me, if you ever need me,
holla.
Call me, when people tell you that.
Yeah.
So one day, out of the blue, I told him, you owe me one, I need your help. And I showed him a case. I think that was like probably my 4th or 5th case. I said, I'm down. I cannot do this case by myself. It's not a lot of money. I just need you to sponsor a warrior to go get medication, to go get medical help. She just needs $4,000 for consultation. Mm-hmm. And probably if you give her some money for fare, so she can be able to make it to the doctor's appointment, it will be very helpful.
Now, where is this warrior? Where is this warrior? Is this warrior based out in Kenya, or where is this warrior based out?
The one that Nixon supported, he has supported many. That one in particular that got Nixon engaged was in Kenya, and she was actually in Bondo. I have never met her. I don't even know her second name.
Understood.
All I knew is she had not seen a doctor for 3 years. She had not taken her medication since I don't know when. And I knew that the way I know this disease, if I don't do something, she will not, her prognosis is not going to be very good.
So let me ask you this. You're in the Western Hemisphere. You're in the first world versus someone in Bondo. What's the life expectancy for someone in Bondo with the ailment?
I'll go back to that case and talk about it. That lady in Bondo, when she went to see the doctor, her kidneys were failing. She had an infection. She had an infection. Her kidneys were failing. So there was no way she was not going to end up in the hospital or dead within a very short time. Because when your kidneys fail, they fail. It's very, very silent, but it's loud when they are now saying bye. You know what I mean? Because you start swelling, she was really sick. Her inflammation markers, like her lupus was very active. Her kidneys were failing and she had an infection. That is not a very good, and she did not even know it and she did not even feel it. The reason we reached out is because she had not seen the doctor for 3 years and she had not taken her meds. So she did not even know that she had an infection. She did not even know that her kidneys were bad. She did not even know.
Was she not taking the meds because they were not accessible, or?
She cannot afford them.
Exactly.
Lupus medications are very expensive. I asked this question yesterday.
Yeah.
There's somebody who told me that her medication, her IV medication, rituximab, is 356,000 Kenya shillings, and the insurance is not going to pay, and NHIF does not pay.
Wait. How much?
356,000. She needs 7 vials, and every vial is over 25K. And I was like, what is he? I was trying to help, but now this medication I cannot help her with because it's too much.
How about in the U.S.? How does that translate for you being in the U.S.? How different
For
is
me,
it?
For me, I pay. So now January is coming, so I have to pay my deductible and out-of-pocket maximum and all that good stuff, so that they can start covering like 80%, then to 100%.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm that sick, I can go to the ER. I have the right to be treated, and they'll send me the bill.
100%.
But in Kenya, let me tell you about another case, and hope I'm staying in topic.
No, you are absolutely on point.
Let me tell you about another case. When I did not even start like expense reporting, because now we have the non-profit, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
There was this girl that texts me from the group on the side, and she tells me, my legs are swelling. So when I hear somebody say my legs are swelling, as a nurse, I think kidneys. Something is wrong, because something is wrong with your kidneys, or something is wrong somewhere. You just don't retain fluids like that. And with lupus, most of the time, it's the kidneys. So she's like, my legs are swelling. I wanted to go see the doctor. I went to Kenyatta, and they could not let me in. So I asked her, how much was the consultation? 700 shillings. $7. 700 shillings. Okay. They could not see her without $7.
Just to walk in?
Yes. They could not see her without that 700 shillings. So by the time I was reading the message, it was already late in Kenya. So I did send her $10 so that she can have the transport. And the $7 she needs to go see the doctor. So she went to the doctor the following day, and she was seen. Do you know what the problem was?
What was the problem?
The kidneys.
Yeah.
Last week, 2 weeks ago, or sometime last week, 2 weeks ago, another case. Guess how much they were needing?
How much?
$2,121, okay? To go see the kidney doctor. They went, we paid for that 2,100 Kenya shillings. And you even see the expense report. I sent that to $21. You laugh if you see it. And then he went to the hospital. He was admitted the same day.
This was a he now. This was a he. This was a he.
It was a he.
Okay.
It was a he.
Okay.
He was admitted the same day. Kidneys failing. He has been started on dialysis. So tell me, if he did not go see that doctor with that $21 that we sent, tell me about it.
So this leads to my next question. We don't have too much time. I apologize, but let me ask you this: what can Africa Diaspora Connect? We're talking here. We're raising this awareness. What can we do? Do you have a foundation? What can be done? How can we make things better, specifically for our brothers and sisters in the motherland all over Africa that are undergoing this hardship? What can be done? Where can we start? Do you have anything going that we can be able to assist?
We have something called SCLAD awareness. Nixon knows very well about it. I actually just sent him an expense report. I am very transparent.
Okay.
Every case, everywhere the money is going, the support of the organization. We have a non-profit. I have a non-profit organization, SCLAD Awareness, Inc. SCLAD meaning scleroderma, lupus, and other autoimmune diseases. So we are not.
How do you spell SCLAD? SCALD? SCLAD. SCLAD Awareness.
SCLAD Awareness,
okay.
Inc. It's registered here in Texas. It's a non-profit. I actually looked it up. And I laugh sometimes. I looked it up and it's there. It's still active. Started 10 months ago. Because of COVID, we don't have a lot of sponsors. So I sell
What can Kibathi do today after I hang up here? What can I do right now to see
What could you do now?
Right now, what I'm done with this conversation, what do I need to go and see whether I can throw a few dollars to this? What do I need to do?
Adopt a warrior.
Adopt a warrior.
Adopt a warrior.
Uh-huh.
The consultation most of the time is between 4,000 and 6,000 Kenya shillings.
Okay.
For most of the we only have 10 rheumatologists in Kenya. 10, period.
For the whole country?
The whole of Kenya, we only have 10. So it's very expensive. So I also sell the merchandise. You see,
no lupus. I see that.
Yeah.
Yes, I see that.
It says no lupus.
Yeah.
I sell this merchandise. And every single coin goes towards helping somebody get medical. I don't take every single coin of the merchandise we sell goes toward that initiative. What else? You can donate. Whatever you want. It's a nonprofit. It's a nonprofit organization. So whatever you want. If you want to adopt a warrior, if you want to pledge per month, you can pledge per month. If you want to give one time, you can give one time. All I want us to do is save lives. I want us to be able to save lives. I want us to be able to look at the prognosis, and we cannot give a prognosis of 4 years to 10 years. I want us to be able to live for 40 years. What I mean?
Let me ask you this: what is your legacy? What's your legacy? What's your legacy? I think I know what it is already, but I want to hear from you. What is your legacy going to be?
What do you mean?
Yeah, like your footprint. What is your footprint? I know what mine is, but what is yours? What's your footprint? I know what it is, but I want to hear it from you directly.
I don't understand the question. The
question is this: when it's all said and done, we are all gonna exit.
All said and done.
Yes.
What do I want to accomplish?
Yes.
What I want to accomplish is awareness. I want everybody to know lupus, because for a world without lupus, we must know KNOW. We must know lupus. For a world without lupus, we must know it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I want everybody in the grassroots to know. If you have people that can donate or that can volunteer awareness, I am up for it. I'm up to do whatever so that we can make sure that people do not mistake a disease, an illness for witchcraft or being bewitched or whatever, because they will have known there's a disease like lupus.
Now I've known you've had this amazing helper through the years, someone who's been by your side, someone who's helped you, walked by you, never left your side, who just takes good care of you. Is that helper around? Can I just say hello to that helper?
So let me say something about her before she comes. She's right here. She's listening. She's been on. She's right where you say.
All right.
Ashley started taking care of me when she was 9 years old.
9.
She started sometimes in the morning, a couple of days ago, I could not dress myself up to go to work. Sometimes it's hard, but I want to keep on moving. I will call her at 6 a.m. in the morning and I tell her, Ashley, I cannot dress myself up. Can you come help me pull the pants up? Because my hands are so swollen and painful.
Understood.
Or sometimes my body is not moving. Ashley. She knows when sometimes I choke on my saliva at night. Ashley can hear that and she'll come running. Ashley can know when I'm not sick. She knows when to call 911 just by looking at me. So the reason, now I'm getting emotional, the reason I fight as far as much as I do is because she has made me this strong. You asked me how I survive, where I get the strength from. It's because Ashley has given me the strength to fight. She has gone through so much for her age that she has had to grow up too quick. Ashley is right here. Come here, Mom.
Let's see Ashley. Miss Ashley.
Say hi, Ashley. And
hey, Ashley. How are you?
I'm
good. How
You are a godsend. My name is Uncle Kibathi. You are a godsend, and I just want to let you know that we God gives us angels in different ways, and normally our angels are our parents. But every so often, we have our children as the key angels, and what you're doing for your mother is out of this world. It's commendable, and as a parent, I just want to commend you and just tell you that just keep doing you. No.
A tear up. She's saying she's gonna tear. You do, you do such a good. You do such a good job. Everybody who knows Ashley knows that.
You have had to grow up way so fast before your time, Ashley. But let me tell you something. It's a blessing in disguise. You're gonna do a lot for mankind, and I'm telling you this for a fact. You don't know this, but I'm telling you. You've been equipped to do amazing things. You are basically going through an internship in this thing we call life. And you're going to be graduating sometime soon. And you're going to have an impact. And I'm very long, because I'll tell you why, because I'm a talent scout. I know talent when I see it, and I know what you're doing, listening to your mom. I'll let you talk. Say something. Just a couple of seconds.
I don't know what to say.
Just say something. He just said say something.
Anything.
Just say hi to everybody.
Hi is good enough. Do you know what you want to be, college? Do you know what you want to matriculate in? Do you have any idea what you'd like to do?
No.
What would you want to do when you go to college?
Nursing.
All right. You're going to be Florence Nightingale. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be talking about you. Take care of your moms. Keep it up. And thank you for all you do. And God bless you.
No problem.
All right?
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I got to run.
Yeah.
Listen, I anything you can send us, anything you need to know, anything. Do you have a website? Anything we could look up? Anything we could.
SCLAD awareness. It's a SCLAD -awareness.com. We have
SCLAD SCLAD. What I said? ESCL.
It's SCLAD SCLAD.
SCLAD. Yes. SCALD SCLAD awareness. We said earlier.
Yeah. .com.
All right.
We have merchandise there. They can see where it came. We have SCLAD as a group.
Can I throw you on? I have a chat group, ADC chat group. Can I invite you to my chat group?
Yes.
People gonna have questions because would like to learn more. Can I do that? And then also, I have a few other ones. There's one called Samrak.
And tell me, because I'm sending some T-shirts your way. I'm sending a couple of T-shirts in Boston.
You're gonna send hundreds. You're gonna send hundreds of those. All right? No, you're gonna send hundreds of those. You're gonna send hundreds between the ADC podcast and Samrak. And Samrak is a big daddy. He's a Mac daddy of it all. Trust me on this. Listen, you one thing. I spoke to Cindy Mushene a few weeks ago on autism. Both of you women just are amazing. You know what I'm saying? You she's been afflicted by virtue of her son with autism. You've been afflicted by what you're going through. God bless you.
Thank you.
Africa Diaspora Connect. Listen, we're learning day at a time here. This is what it's all about. These journeys, let's pay attention. It's happening outside our doorsteps. If you have a story to tell, we're here to listen. Tell us. Let's really bring everything to light. This is our story. It's all of us. I am my sister's keeper. I am your keeper. You are your brother's keeper. You keep me as well. All right? And that beautiful daughter of yours, she is her mother's keeper. We love you. God bless you guys. ADC, subscribe. Like this one. You got to like this one. Share this one. We're going places. 2021. Watch this. Africa Diaspora Connect. The baddest producer in the universe, Mr. Ben right here. Thank you. Wageshi, be well. Ashley, we love you. Take care. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.